What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to take a look at something awesome. And it is the new HGUC P-BANDAI RX-124 Gundam TR6 WOUNDWORT. Or Woundwort. I'm not exactly sure. Now, you guys didn't even know I picked this one up, did you? So I thought I'd sneak in an extra review here. And yeah, you get a nice image here of the Woundwort in this mode and also that mode, which is the same modes, which is weird because they usually give you multiple modes on the cover. You got Advance of Zeta right there and all the other things. Bandai 2018, yay for that. Well, because this is P-BANDAI, you only get, well, just the name of the Gundam down the side. You come around here and you get repeat and BandaiHobby.net. Same thing here. You get obligatory warnings there. 3-year-olds, 18-year-olds, faces, pointy things. Little guy with the toilet, 1,800 yen. Ugh, I really wish it was 1,800 yen. I believe I paid about 35, 40 for this thing from Big Bad Toy Store. So, yeah, real quick, P-BANDAI box. Brand new Gundam, still upside down. No build montage. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. Weird Bunny of Death. Alright guys, so here we have the Woundwort out here and looking very weird. So obviously it's a very strange looking Gundam. Okay, so this is obviously its mobile armor mode, so this thing does transform. And of course, it's from Advance of Zeta, so you kind of expect some kind of transformation out of these things. And, yeah, this thing has one of the weirdest transformations I've seen in a while. But it's pretty cool. So you've got green metallic stickers here, which I assume are sensors of some sort. You do get some nice red and gray paint right here for what I assume are little thrusters, although that does look like a mono eye at this point. Believe me, it's actually thrusters. Let's add some light to the subject here. You've got yellow right there and some dark, my favorite is dark gray ever. I thought originally those were thrusters. Clearly they're more like intakes. You got red paint poking out there. You've got some yellow and gray paint along with a green sensor sticker under there. You got some more yellowish orangey paint back here along with some cool fins. Now one problem this thing does suffer from is the crotch connection. Also that. The crotch connection for the stand is kind of wonky. So it does not really do its job properly. And getting everything lined up every time is also very not easy. So this thing does come with 2 stands. Super easy little crap stands. And of course for mobile armor mode you need to convert it to this mode. But since we're not going to stay here very long, we'll go ahead and flip that up. But this is what you get in mobile armor mode. It's pretty cool. But it's weird at the same time. I dig it. One thing does lead me to believe that we'll probably get some more add-ons for this guy in the future, and that's these tabs, or these open slots here in the back of the thrusters. I do believe that at some point we'll probably get expansion sets for this, because there are a ton of other versions of the Woundwort or the TR6. You know, there's countless versions, including like the really big, like ridiculous add-on versions. I can't remember all the names. They're all a little bit weird. So, alright. The main thing is here, we got to get this guy transformed. And we're going to need kind of everything for that. And for the most part, we've got the main body chunk here. So we'll set that off to the side. And we've got a couple little fins. We'll set those over here. Now, this is actually fairly simple to take apart. There's your crotch stand. We'll set that over there after we bump the camera with the arm. That's always important. Got to bump the camera. Go ahead and pull off the legs. If you can. What? Parts forming? No way. Okay, so this is obviously the crotch connection, the hips, everything like that. So what you want to do Come up here, just rock all of this using a double hinge. Just turn all that up into there. Do the same thing on this side. Very nice. You're going to go ahead and pull these guys off. Don't ask me where they grow from in transformation. They just appear. Flip down the legs. Use that term kind of loosely. It's more like just pointy thrusters at below the knee. Okay, set this over here. Go ahead and grab the main chunk here. And, well, you don't need to remove that entire section, but it does keep coming off. That polycap is a little bit loose. So, from here, you just kind of floop that down. And you pick this part up. And you can see there's a tab right there. It actually goes into that little slot. It's just for connection's sake. Alright, so rock this down. And you'll see there's two slots here and there. And a couple tabs. And we use this double hinge. Get this all lined back up and tabbed in. Alright, so this is actually the main crotch section, and apparently this is the main chunk of the Gundam itself. Everything else kind of branches off from this, well, including the butt section here. So you want to grab a head, literally grab a head, because there's your fake head. Pull that off, everything tabs right up inside that slot there. And because this got all rotated and wonky, what you need to do, so if you're transforming it, you're actually flipping this up and over. So flip this here, rotate it back, and flip it up because now it's the butt skirt. Yay! There's another sliding joint right there. So set that right here. Now we're going to deconstruct this area, which is pretty easy. You just grab the arms and yoink them off. Yeah, once again, parts forming. I don't even think an MG could transform properly with this thing. It has some really crazy transformation. Before we continue, we'll go ahead and look at this fake part here. It actually does come in two sections. So you got like a fake back and a fake chest and a fake head that all somehow compacts down. This all comes in white. You have to paint it all. I think I did a decent job trying to match up the yellowish orange and paint it. Also, that is a slightly extra sensor decal there. I just cut off some extra green that was left over. So it works out. It's pretty cool. Now we'll go ahead and transform the arms first. We don't really need the fins. So you want to rotate the shoulder joint 180 degrees and then just unfold the arm and then kind of compact it. And then straighten out your hand. So there's our right arm. There's our right shoulder blade, so to speak. And it's real easy to get confused, especially when things have to be rotated like 180 degrees. So if you find yourself looking at it and go, where the heck does this go again? Is this the left side or right side? It's the one you think it is. And then you go ahead and just tab everybody together here on the shoulder joint. Like so. Line everything up. Tab it in successfully. Then we come up here and you've got a hole right there. You've got a big old peg, and you've got this big hingy part here that I can't tell where it's supposed to technically go, but it's going to go right inside there. Plug your torso into the crotch and open up the arms just a little. Go ahead and grab this. The yellow parts face forward and reassemble just like so. Quick and easy peasy. Alright, so we've got him in robot mode here. Now there's a couple other things I did neglect. You have to put the little fins on the buttocks up here. And you just got a couple slots right there. They will tab in, and you'll hear a click. The ever so friendly click. Make sure that's pegged in all the way. Put this guy back on the stand. And actually, it's in robot mode where the stand starts kind of coming loose a little bit. But there you go. There's your wound wart. Look at that. Like I said, it's either wound wart or wound wart. I say wound wart. It just sounds better. But it definitely looks very cool, very unique in the terms of Gundam, and I know it is a Titans test team thing, and basically it's kind of an ultimate culmination of a lot of their technologies they developed over time. You do have the O Mecha sticker right there. I don't know anything about that. Don't know nothing. You do get Titans test team logos here and here. They do only tell you to put them here and here. They give you 6. And so I just figured that meant to put the other 2 on the inside of the thighs. Or whatever, for lack of a better term, thighs. Now, he does actually stand on his own, so you don't have to use the stand adapter, which is what I was going to show you before. So he's got this big tab right there, really hard to see. And it does go around this area and sort of tabs in right there. So, but it can stand on its own. You just come down here, find a little tabby tab, and you flip out these little stanchions, and it will stand, which is kind of surprising considering it is like a very, like, definitely spacefaring suit, space battle type suit, or maybe even some atmospheric battle, but it is what it is. I like that they at least gave you that. I'm sure that's part of the actual design, to give it some fake feet, kind of. Though it will topple over forward. Backwards, only if you like, boop, you know. But for the most part, it will stand just fine if you don't mess with it. Now in this mode, we can see a lot more of the stuff. So you got the crotch V-fin right there, which I did paint. I think I did a decent job cleaning it up. It does come with a sticker for that. Actually, I did not do an unboxing for this guy because I wanted to just go ahead and get the review done. And yeah, another thing is you do get, or I didn't, you do or need to paint the inside of those vents. So that's some of my favorite dark gray ever, and then cleaned up the excess. Actually, right here, I did miss a cleanup spot. See if I can get it with my nail. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so a lot like the Titans, the rest of the Titans and Hazel figures, you do get these little things, these little cylinder thingies that are all over it. In this case, they all needed to be painted gray. Some are better cleaned up than others, being that they're really strange positions usually. You do get red on this guy, so right up in here and up here, right there on the wrist area, and then back here on the elbow area. That is part of the design, though I did have to look it up online to see exactly what needed to be painted and where, because it's really difficult with the P-BANDAI that doesn't give you color images, even on the cover, you know? Now, I did actually paint the eyes, though you will never ever see them because they're buried right back in there. So I actually took on some nice eye green and some black and painted the eyes on. Also, these little Vulcans right here, I did paint dark gray. I think originally they were the kind of Titans purpley color. Another part that gets painted was these right here. Those come as stickers. I tried to match the purple as close as I can. I took some Titans blue along with some of the new Gundam purple and tried to blend it. It came across a lot more blue, although it does still work. So, not upset about it. The other parts down here, just these little dots of gray. Also, these parts right here for the thrusters on the legs, they don't come with stickers, they don't come with anything, and they need to be yellow. Like I said, I tried to approximate this yellow about as good as I could with a bright Gundam yellow and a hint of red. They're a little bit dark, but I think they work. And then right in here, you do get a little bit more gray, and also you get, whoop, hello, slippery little guy. You get camera stickers for when he's in mobile armor mode. So it looks pretty cool. Very, very unique design. It's very insect-like. It's also very, it does have a rabbit head, kind of, with those big V fins in these parts. So rabbits are the theme, more or less. Though, not entirely certain what the heck's going on here. I love the fact that they actually gave you a regular yellow piece for this crotch thruster here instead of making that a wraparound sticker. They could have very easily done that. And this thing was a challenge to panel line, so a lot of really awkward ones, like in here, back here, these little indentations. All of this was a little bit difficult to panel line and clean up, but I got it done. So all in all, really interesting suit. Very, very interesting construction. So you do get these hands, the normal just holding hands, and you can see in here also red fingertips. So a lot of the other Titans test teams definitely had that ability, but you do get some open hands as well. I got some fingernail polish, so to speak. And these are those weird, like, meh hands, like they're meh. So they're expressive, but they're strange. So because I'm going to need the right hand, I'll just put on the left hand. And they do tab in. They don't use ball and sockets. They actually use these nice, clicky joints. I appreciate that. Speaking of joints, go into articulation. The head is on a ball joint and a hinge, so it can look down, can look up, can knock the V-fan off just slightly, can swivel all the way around. By the way, camera sticker on the back side looks good. Camera sticker on the front side, yay! Shoulders are interesting, to say the least. So you do have a normal rocker in the shoulder there, and you can see all that nice movement there, though I'm pretty sure there's no actual butterfly, but you can do that. They do rotate at the shoulder proper. You got this joint here as well, as we kind of saw some of these come into play during transformation. But if you kind of utilize all of these, you can get a really good hi teacher. Hi, my name is Woundwort. I know it's a weird name. Alright, so you do get the bicep rotation. This is where things really start getting weird. Look at this elbow situation. So you got this big kind of hook thing here, and it hinges back here, not in the middle. So weird. So it hinges there, and then it hinges here. So you do get a double jointed elbow. Of course, that gives you your collapse for transformation. But then it can just look more or less like a normal arm. That's pretty crazy. Now, it looks like this part should totally move, but it doesn't. You just get your wrist rotation and wrist flop. I like the fact that they engineered that. It's pretty cool. It's actually very much like a MG wrist joint, the way that works. Yay. Now, you do get rotation at the waist, more or less, but because of this piece being tucked behind the crotch, you usually lose that. And you can rock it a little bit. Now, if you put that outside of the crotch joint, if I can, got to get all of this lined back up. As you can tell, this thing is very, very fiddly. Okay, come on, tab in. And that happens more often than not. Okay, so if you pick that up and you leave it out, you can get your waist articulation. Stay. All right, so the legs, you got hip joints, so you can rotate way up, way back. Of course, the thing isn't really walking around. It's going to be flying, so that doesn't matter. You can do the splits very effectively. You just got to make sure the legs clear everything. There's a lot of fiddly bits there. You can hear it clucking on stuff. Yep. Okay, and if you want, you can drop that down, though it looks really friggin' weird. It does technically have that knee joint from earlier, so that just, pulls out the thrusters, more or less. And then, of course, no real ankle articulation because it doesn't have feet. So you've just got the flip-flop hingy parts here. So that's it. Articulation mode is pretty good, but, it's very, very small, very, very fiddly. And I'm still kind of unsure what this part is for, because, for the most part, if you want the cleaner look, you keep it tucked. And this thing is on a hinge, and it can move in and out. But in the instructions, it basically has you do that. So, I mean, it's really strange. Now, what is not weird about this guy is the weapons. Actually, that's not true at all. The weapons are very weird. Alright, so we get this enormous sword slash gun slash other stuff. This thing has multiple modes. It does have a nice flip-up camera. Yay. And in the original thing, you do get stickers for these parts, but I just painted it with the same purplish blue color that I did the other parts. It came out pretty decent. It's not the best job. I mean, it's all hand painted, hand mixed from Gundam marker, so it is about the best I can get. So as far as I can tell, this is just a giant sword type object, but you know, it doesn't hold it separately or anything like that. It does just peg into here, but I believe it also is a rifle at the same time. It's some kind of big beam cannon at the same time. Details are pretty cool. You got these big pipes right through there that could always use a little bit of paint. Once again, you get the O mecha right there. Looks pretty cool. You've got this thing right here that, as far as I can tell, at least in normal mode, does nothing but get in the way. And it doesn't really fold out of the way effectively. You do got the moving fin back here for no reason. You got a decent handle right here, but you do also have this peg that is incredibly annoying and gets in the way while you're trying to make it hold it. You got these nice thrusters right here that odds are probably should have been painted yellow, but did not do that because pain in my butt. Alright, so go ahead and pull the hand off, and actually let's go ahead and put him back on the stand, because otherwise he's probably not going to sit. There we go. So put him back on the stand, spread the legs a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take this off for ease of moving around. Go ahead and pull the back of the hand off, like you do. And just do your best to attach the hand, like so. Now you can see the fingers. And then you just want to come back here, tilt the camera up, and plug the wrist back in, which is not the easiest thing to do sometimes. I do wish that was a more of a solid connection. Okay, now comes the part where it gets a little weird, because the instructions more or less want you to just hold it, well, like that. And I don't think that's very clean, so I don't really do it that way. So took this back in here. I actually use that wrist joint, and I will tuck the arm up inside there, along with pulling this out and around to sort of encapsulate the arm. And while it looks a little funky, it's definitely a more solid hold. Now the other way you can do it, of course, is just keep the arm tucked in there, but then have this other arm connection just sit back here and sort of prop it up, kind of extend the arm just a little. And yeah, so that's it holding its big old weapon. I know it said in there what it is, but off the top of my head I'm forgetting, because it's very early in the morning when I'm recording this. Yep, it just calls it a rifle. So all in all, that is a huge weapon. I mean, for an HG, that is ridiculous. I mean, assuming that's a sword, judging by the edges, and that it is a big rifle, which is the hardest thing in the world to maneuver. Not to mention, like, the arm itself, to me, should tuck completely up in there. And if you actually remove this section entirely, it's just pegged in there. If you remove that entirely, you can tuck the arm almost entirely inside it, but you lose some of that stability of holding it. So, I mean, it's kind of a trade-off. Which way do you want it? So it'll tend to flip-flop a little bit more if you pull that out completely, but it does look better. So it's kind of a personal preference. So if you want to leave this part off entirely, you can hold the weapon a lot better. And yeah, I mean, it's clearly meant for the arm to totally tuck up inside, like even like this, but there's nothing to hold it in place, and that bothers me because I feel like there should be. Like, obviously this peg is here for a reason. It has nothing to do with this, but you also got these tabs. It's almost like there should have been another piece to cover this, and then you could use this. In my opinion, that would have worked out really well. Probably how it's supposed to work. I don't know. It's not what the instructions want you to do, but to me, that's what looks the best and how it should be functioning. But given what we have, there's no good way to utilize it that way. Now, of course, because this thing is crazy, there's all other modes. So put the arm back how it was. No biggie. Just kind of chill in here like, yeah, I win. And since we already have this pulled off, we're halfway there. Need to remove this piece. Extend this out a little bit. And you got these tabs right here, which go on top of the shoulder. Like so. And you can just flip-flop that down about as good as you can. I'm going to take a little hunk of wire that come with this thing and kind of insert it. There's a little hole up inside there that this was covering. Now we come to the actual weapon. Pull off the blade. We're not going to need that. Don't ask me why. I said don't ask. Go ahead and remove these parts. Pop off this part and relocate it to there. We're not really going to need the handle, so just kind of move it like so. Now we need to grab these bits. Pop off all of these little white parts off of those. Reinstall them over here. As you can tell, these now become like legs, or in this case claws, because this is the crow mode. I'm pretty sure it means claw mode, but you know, Japanese. Tab these things in. You got T-shaped slots right there, as you can see. They just tab right back in. No big deal. Like so. And where's our other friend? We'll grab this thing. And I believe we want to peg this in right back here. And then you've got two holes. It's going to be hard to see. Come on. You got the big hole and the tiny hole. Tiny hole is obviously for the wire. Just do what you can to insert said wire. And grab your other handy dandy standy, because it came with two. And there you go. There it is in his little claw mode. So he actually has the ability to like send this thing out and grab other suits and tack them and stuff like that. Though it's not exactly intimidating. At least not like this. I guess if you adjust the stand a little bit, maybe. Which the stand apparently doesn't want to come apart. So tilt that up a notch. And then you've got it in clawing mode. But because it is on this fine tether of a rope, it does make it a little bit awkward. Now, one thing I don't understand, at least kit-wise, and this may be something different with the actual suit, this whole setup right here would have been connected to the top of the shoulder would have totally made sense for the rifle, at least in my opinion. So, I mean, I think initially it was supposed to be able to do that, and then somebody messed with the design. I don't know. But the claw is kind of cool, and you can send it out and just whatever. Alright guys, so final thoughts wise, it's a really cool kit. It's just really fiddly and wonky, and of course with any transforming HG kit, it has its moments of being just a huge pain in the butt. I mean, if you're going to leave it in mobile suit mode, which most of you probably will, you're not going to have many problems. The design for how the cannon, rifle, sword, everything is held is really wonky, because once again, it totally, absolutely feels and looks like it should be held like this, with the arm totally inside there, almost like a giant lance that he could just ran through people. But there's no good way to attach it or anything like that. And then if you add in this part, which is, you know, the main connecting chunk for that, it really gets really strange. And I think that They missed a tick design-wise, where this probably should have been connected to the shoulder and connected to that, or this is supposed to tab in elsewise, because it has this extra hook here, but it has these tabs here. So I don't think that's only just to, look like it's supposed to tab in above the shoulder, like over here. It looks like it's supposed to do a lot more, but maybe design-wise they left something out. I can't quite tell. But you're going to kind of get it in one pose or another, and well, just leave it there. Like that. That's a fairly cool pose. You do have to paint a lot of detail on it if you want it to be fairly accurate, so you need some grays, you're going to need some reds, you're going to need some yellows. And I guess it's a good lesson in hand painting if you're not going to do a full paint job on this guy. In some aspects, I would probably suggest, if you're not comfortable with painting, go ahead and use the stickers for here, although these are very long wraparound stickers to make that blade look complete. So it's probably not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but hey, all the better for you. But all in all, I think if you can get it for a fair price, I think it's worth it, especially if you're a Titans Test Team fan, or if you like the Hazels, because this is basically like the Hazels' little brother. And I would pull the Hazel out, but it's kind of buried on the UC shelf. But you guys know. Just imagine it sitting next to the Hazel. And once again, this part annoys me. But guys, that's going to be it for this review. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe-ish button if you have not, because we are very close to 3,000 and we've only got a few days left until the anniversary, so maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. I'm kind of okay with it. But if you want to help out the channel a little bit, go ahead and hit up the Patreon right here on the screen, and of course in the description down below. And a little bit a month can totally help out the channel, keep things afloat around here, because sometimes things get rough. But if you want to go ahead and grab a Shoky shirt and show that you're part of the Shoky Nation, you can totally do that too. All's well in the description, but you can see a couple of them on the screen, no problem. So you can totally hold it up, more or less. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys, for this review. Hope you have enjoyed it, and remember, as always, to keep on building.